Welcome to our farm. So in today's video, basically we're going to take you through a training session on piggery farming.
Okay, my name is Isaac Ogala Simon. I am a pig farmer, and of course I have a lot of professions that I always do. I am a teacher, I am a pig farmer, all those things I do. So all this while I've been teaching, but teaching has not been giving me the right thing that I want in life. But I've decided to become a pig farmer, and I am feeling and experiencing that I'm getting to another level. So you're welcome to our piggery training video. In this piggery is one of the complex things, but it is good when you're careful in management. When you put a lot of attention, you can make it in life. So we are today going to mentor you in how to come up with a successful piggery project and the management practices that we are going to have. By the end of this video, I hope we are going to have a concept in the housing, the nutrition, and then we are going to enhance you with better understanding of how you can handle these things. So today we're going to handle a lot of things, a couple of things in this video. This video will cover a training. It is going to be a short one, but it is like a training that will give a lot of knowledge in it. So number one thing that we're going to talk about is the different breeds in piggery. So when you want to have a piggery project, first of all you need to identify, or you need to know the types of breeds, because you cannot just get there and without knowing the breeds that are in the existence, so that you don't end up buying something that does not give value. So in this piggery we have two types. Majorly we have the local breeds and the exotic breeds. And in these local breeds are these ones that we find mostly in Africa. And we happen to have one here. We happen to have one. It's here. So we have that local. This local one, what we do is that we bring the local one, and generally we have the exotic breed one, the exotic breed in the farm, which is the large white. This one here, which is the large white. So what we do is that this local one is brought together with the exotic one in order to give exotic breeds. Those ones are called hybrids. So it is as a result of crossbreeding. So we have the local one. Now we have these ones are now the exotic breeds, as I mentioned before. Now this one is what we call the large white. This large white is a good one. You find out it's having a pointed ear. It's having a pointed ear. It is always white in color, and it is very light. So when you look at the bigger one, it's really a good one. So when you look there, this is the bigger one. As you can see, it's really big. This is what we call the large white. Now they are feeding the animals, and they like feeding. They like food. These are just additions to what they have eaten. Of course, we gave them some feedings in the morning, and they are now for some additions. You know, these things are for pleasure, for just to take time. So they are eating, and he's also playing with them. This is how you're supposed to treat them. Another thing is another type of an exotic breed is combi, of which we don't have it here. By time we shall have. Of course, our farm is not yet to that standard, but we are working towards upgrading it into another level. So we have also what we call the Hampshire, or you find that it's black in color somewhere, black, and it is painted white. That one is called Hampshire. We have Landrace. Landrace looks white, but it is having an overloaf ear. These ones, if you look at the ears are pointed, then the one for Landrace is a bit overloaf. So that is those are some of the examples of exotic breeds that you need to make sure that you have to buy, because these exotic breeds, they have high mothering ability. You find out that they are large. Then they are being large, they have an opportunity to give birth to a lot of piglets. So once you have such, then it becomes very simple for you to grow fast. Because I always tell my fellow farmers that what we are doing here is we are making business. we want to make profits. That's why we are aiming into making profits. So in your making profits, you need to look for something that makes faster profits. That's why you see our piggery. Our piggery project has not yet reached 1 year, and we are seeing, we began it in December last year. Now we are having a lot of piglets in our place, and in 2 years time, I think we can no longer suffer. We are going to enjoy life. Those ones are also struggling with feeding inside, and also giving their food. So those are the different types of breed. Now the next thing that we want to talk about is the sty, or the piggery house, which is called the pen, or the sty. So this sty here, when you look at the sty, we can make our styes in 2 ways. Number one, we can make a concrete one. Number two, we can use the IOM sty. So this IOM sty is made in such a way that it's when you look at pigs, they generally like digging. So we always recommend this as the best type of sty, or the best floor that we need to have. You just need to make something very temporary. You need to when you're starting, you need to build something like 10 by 10. At least you should have 10 by 10, 2 houses. Then you divide them into portions like what we have done here. So after dividing it into portions, what you need to do is you need to dig it 3 feet down. You need to dig it 3 feet down. You know, the level of this place is to some standard. Now we dug it down. After digging it down, we placed some specific things. There was things that we placed. We look at it. So that one, it enables the pig to dig, and the pig always feels comfortable. That's why you're seeing it. It's just, it can be dug. So what we first made was, we dug it down, then we put some logs. After putting the logs, we put some leaves. After putting the leaves, then we made a mixture of
red soil
with soil, red soil, which is said to be the Maria. Then we added some salt. After adding the salt, then we added the sawdust. That's why you see it like this. So whenever they sleep down, they jog, they dig. It becomes very simple for them. Now the next one is a concrete building, of which we don't have it here because we like this one. So that we just want to talk about the advantages of having this floor to a concrete building. You can make it cemented floor, but in the cemented floor they will not always be comfortable because they like digging so much. So when they want to play, it will be very hard. Even sometimes when they're
playing, yeah.
When you see that the way they are entering themselves. Now in a concrete building, such things will not be there. Even diggings like these ones, they don't do it. So it makes them not comfortable. Even sometimes when they want to do their practices, it becomes very hard. They may hit themselves and they are injured because of the cemented floor. So we are recommending farmers to have something simple and organized, and it favors them. So something that favors them, it becomes very easy for them to enjoy life, because this piggery, it's your profitable project. Now if you're working on a profitable project, you need to do with all interest. You need to make sure that your animals are not stressed up. So once they are stressed up, it will cause some losses because they may die. So you need to make sure that they are comfortable, they are free in whatever they are doing. That's why you need to make something to their standard so that they enjoy. So if you want to make your house concrete, it should be the wall. The wall should be concrete, but the floor, it should not be concrete. That is the recommendation that we shall be giving on the style. So typical example is what you've seen. These pigs are here live doing what we are saying. So that is to talk about the style. So in the style, there's also one thing that we want to add on: the maintenance, in order for you to experience no smell. So we said in the beginning that it is the IOM method, which is indigenous microorganisms. So
these are live bacteria.
Yeah, these are live bacteria. So what we're doing is, this is the IOM style. So there is a chemical that is said to be the IOM chemical. This IOM is when they defecate the dung inside. So what we do is we collect. We just collect, and then we are doing it in an urban setting, then we deposit it somewhere. You just collect. There's no need for you to do a lot of things. So this is where we have deposited them. So we have collected this and it has been deposited this, and this one will be as manure and can be used in other ways. You know, the aspect of recycling has come in. So something that has been useless in the next project, it is taken to the next project for our gardening growth purposes. Like this can be used for growing vegetables like cabbage, sukuma wiki, and other things. So that is the importance of that. Now, when we have collected this and dumped it somewhere like this, what we will do is we spray it with the chemical, which is the IOM. So the IOM, whenever you want it, you just get to where there is. If you go to where there is a farm, you will find this. This is the container. We have the IOM. So in this IOM, we use 5 ml of concentrated in dilute 1 liter. So what we use is we remove 15 milliliters, and then we dilute into 1 liter of water. So after diluting it, what you do is you spray inside here. It makes the house not to smell, or the style cannot smell. That's why you see it. You see us here. We are comfortable because there's no smell. Even at home, you can set this at your home, and when you use this method, your family can be comfortable because the smell is not all that much. It is by the use of this chemical. So this chemical helps so much. It removes the smell in a high intensity. So it removes it immediately. That's why sometimes when we feel like staying with our pigs, we just come with our things we eat near, next, even sometimes because they like playing so much. That's why you see they are too friendly. They are too friendly when it comes to play. They are too friendly. So it's the treatment that we've given to them. So whenever we have something in hand and we feel like coming here, we just come because the place is safe. It does not smell. So that is what you're supposed to do. Of course, there are very many farmers that leave their pigs into places that are dirty, and it makes even the environment, the area, it becomes smellful. So as a pig farmer, you do it in a simple way, but you need to be very advanced. So in your advancement, you need to make sure that you include this. Of course, in agri, there are inputs, and you need to make sure that you budget for the inputs that will help in the farming. So that is the use of the IOM. So we are going to the next thing now. We are going to the next thing. So we are just going to talk about their feeding now. Feeding these animals. Of course, feeding them, it is very important. It is one of the things that we always recommend, that we need to feed these animals. So since you have taken it as a project, you need to make sure that you feed them very well. You need to feed them very well. So in the morning, you woke up, you clean this, and you have seen we have given them some feeds here. So these feeds, they have gotten some things that are mixed. You see, it's yellowish in color, but it is a concentration of a lot of things. It is a concentration of a lot of things. You know, another alternative is leaves also. You see, these leaves, they are seriously grabbing it because that is what they feed on. Now, they are seriously struggling. Each one wants. They are seriously struggling and fighting for the food. So it looks unique. We have brought it. That's why they are struggling. So this one is enough for them. They have eaten and they got tired. They took water and they enjoyed. So this feeding, when you talk about this, it is a mixture of a lot of things. We have maize bran, we have soya, we have even egg cells. Sometimes we get egg cells. I remember there are some that we gave them some time back. So those egg cells, when you give to them, it is having an impact, because when you look at the content in the egg cells is the calcium. Then when you give unto them, they will also be getting calcium. This calcium will help strengthen their bones. So when their bone becomes strong, they will always be strong. So when this thing, and that is how. Now here we have some ingredients that we added, like the grow pig the salt, the wonder pig. So this wonder pig, they play some specific roles. This wonder pig, it helps grow fast, it removes stress in this. Even sometimes it decreases some microorganisms that these animals may be getting from the flow, because this flow sometimes it may not be safe, but because of the chemicals that we always give them, it becomes safer, because of there are some organisms that they get down here. But we need to always be keeping on working on the chemicals. The chemicals are very important. Now others, the grow pig, it makes it grow very fast. Like this one. Yeah. Look at that one. That one is already 1 month and a half. Already 1 month and a half. Now you look at the standard. The standard has gotten into something else. So we have other alternatives of feeding. We have like maize. We have like rice bran. For us, we are using maize bran, but we have things like rice bran. We're just giving it so that you have advanced knowledge that these things can be used. We have maize bran. If you have like potato leaf, sweet potato leaves, you can also use those ones. For those ones who are in villages or other places, if you have such things, you can use it. We're in an urban setting, that's why you are seeing some of these things are not there. But when we get them, we bring into the farm. So we have things like even leaves. You look at these are leaves. We also eat these leaves, they also work on it. So that is also another alternative of what we call. So we have amaranthus, which is commonly known as dodo. So you can also get it and then give them to them. They can also chop. We have cassava you can bring and give unto them. Even the sweet potato you can give. Fish, jackfruit you can also give unto them. Then there is this fish, most especially the silver fish. You can bring it and grind it, then you mix to their feeds, because that one has gotten a protein content. So when the protein content is too high, it builds up the bones, the tissues. So it is found in the fish. So that thing helps so much. So that is the alternatives of those are some of the alternatives of feeding that we have. So we are now getting into the next thing. We are going to look at some practices that we always do. What are those practices that we always do in the farm? Number one practice that we do in the farm is deworming. We deworm these pigs after 3 months. So these pigs, when you deworm them, it is having an impact, because this, I remember saying our flow, they dig from, they eat, they jog, they dig some of these things. So when they do all these things, it may get they may get some microorganisms. So it's necessary for you to deworm them so that they don't die. You need to deworm them. So in the deworming, we have the lever that we always use. Of course we have it, but we left it somewhere. I remember in the other video that we talked about deworming. You can also go to the other video and look at it there. You look at the steps. So deworming is one of the important aspect. So when you identify that there are some, because you cannot, there are some factors that always we identify that needs an emergency for deworming. So you look at the skin. When the skin is already becoming rough, so here it is having fur. There are some fur, but whenever there is some infections, you will find out that this whatever will rub out. So you need to deworm it immediately to remove the such infection. We also have spraying. Spraying is also what we do. It is one of the practices that we do. You need to spray it with insecticide or pesticide. You can use also the IOM to control. So you just spray them. This whatever, there are these parasites that they are on them, so that they are removed. So if you look at ours, we spray them. That's why you see them. They look nice. If you look at the photo, you look at them critical. It is very nice. So I just want to remind you of something. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for those who have not subscribed. And then you need to share the video, because we're doing this for free. We're doing it for free. What we're requesting from you is to share, so that this video gets, you need to comment, you need to tell us what you've learned from this, session. So it's very important so that we're able to prepare ourselves where necessary, because we learn from each other. There are people who in different places that they have gotten different contents. Now we also here we're having also another content. So whenever we join hands together, we shall learn from each other. So that comment session, you make use of it. So we are now getting into the next thing. We are now getting into the next thing. They are doing well. They are seriously with eating. So that is what they are doing. So we also have introduction of antibiotics. We need to introduce antibiotics to these things. We need to be introducing antibiotics to them. So when you introduce these antibiotics, it prevents them from other diseases. Now we are going to talk about reproduction now. We're going to talk about the reproduction. Reproduction has gotten many stages. So the first thing is you need to identify when a sower is in heat period. So when a sower is in heat period, so you find that the vulva become, this one is not on heat, but we're just trying to show it. So you will find out that the vulva becomes red and swollen. So you find that the vulva becomes red and swollen. So it comes out swollen. So when you identify that, it means that this piglet, this sower is already in heat period. And sometimes it becomes restless. You just move around. Now when it moves around, you identify out that piglet is having some signs of heat period. So remember, we separate these things because of a reason. You find out the boa is staying alone. Down there, the boa is alone. Then the sowers stay differently because there is a reason. When you put these things together, when they stay all the time together, they will start looking themselves as sisters. These are the most complicated animals that we have. So you don't put the boa and the sower together. They should always be different. The boa should be alone, then the sower should be alone. The sower should be taken to the boa when it is already in heat. Their mating becomes very easy. Mating becomes very easy and fast. So that is what we are supposed to do. After identifying that this sower is in heat, what you need to do is you need to take it to the boa, and then mating occurs. So when mating occurs, you find that this vulva will become less red, and the swollen part will also reduce. The swollen part will reduce. So when it reduces, that means that one is also a sign of pregnancy. Now you need to take precautions, then work on the pregnancy. There you provide a lot of food so that this can feed, because they are carrying a lot of babies in the stomach. So, a lot of piglets. So I'm not saying a lot of babies. It is a lot of piglets in the stomach. So they need to eat a lot. You need to take good care of them. You need to make sure that they are given food in time and everything in time. Water in time and everything in time. So that's how you're supposed to work on them. Now this reproduction period takes like 3 months, 3 weeks and 3 days, which is equivalent to 14 days. So when you identify out that this your sower is already pregnant, you need to follow and make sure you put the recordings down. Then you master for those days. Then you find out that in that day it is likely to give birth. So when it gives birth, then you get into taking care of these piglets. So that is how you go on to identifying and managing some of the things that you're supposed and those are some of the things that you're supposed to do as a farmer. So the next thing we're going to talk about is briefly